So this is SIG Scalability meeting, 17th February 2022. And I don't see any topics in the agenda, but I see that Chao Chen posted a question here in the chat. So I guess we can start with it. So do you want maybe to explain a little bit more about this issue? So I guess that the idea is that what do you mean by unlimited list requests? Like without limit?
Hey, Chao, we can't hear you.
Yeah. So yeah, I would like to understand a little bit better what do you have in mind, because it depends. So for example, if someone is listing from watch cache, then basically we don't have currently option to just send part of the list, and basically we always send the whole result. If it comes to etcd, then as you mentioned, it's good practice to use some limit for listing, but actually there is some work in this area right now that will be happening in the new Kubernetes version, where instead of like listing something, we will have a streaming API for getting the list of things. So this will be actually much better solution for the API server, because then you don't need to provide any limit, and also it will be less invasive for API server, because currently when you try to list some huge objects, huge amount of objects, then it's possible that the API server will run out of memory. So actually we had discussion about it some time ago. I think it was yeah, it was this in December 9th. And on YouTube, you could check out the recording, and there was a really great presentation from Łukasz, who actually prepared KEP for it, and it's actually related to this listing of items from the API server.
Okay, is this a etcd side change that was discussed, or
So no, actually it's mostly, I think it's mostly API server, but the difference is that, okay, so now, for example, what's happening is that like, let's say that you want to list everything, and it comes from watch cache. And when it comes from watch cache, what happens is that it copies the whole list of objects, and it keeps this copy till the receiver receives it. So so that's what was very not well optimized for memory of API server, and basically instead of it, we will have streaming API, which will have kind of constant memory consumption on API server. And if you are making, if you are listing something from the API server and you put resource version 0, then basically it comes from the API server, and you don't even need to ask etcd for the result.
Right. So just to set context on where we are coming from, so we see unpaginated range requests coming in to etcd, causing ooms on etcd side. So our proposal here was to never send unpaginated requests to etcd. So one option we explored was to have this pagination in etcd client and have the API server say that I want to honor that option. But Chow found a problem with that, and because there are sort options that sometimes are passed in, so these two together may not work. So if we go down that route, we would have to enable it only when sort option is not specified, which is bit limiting. So he's exploring another change on API server itself to see if we can pass a limit basically to every etcd call that it ever makes. So never make unpaginated calls to etcd.
Okay, honestly, I'm not very familiar with this part, so I'm a bit. Yeah, it would be nice if Wojtek was here. He's way more familiar here. So I think what we could do is I can follow up with Wojtek because I don't feel competent enough to answer this question. What kind of issues paginating those list calls to etcd would have?
Yeah, sounds good. So what we could do is we can study the streaming that you mentioned, the details of that. 9th of December, we'll check that out, and we should have a follow-up discussion on if that is good enough for us or do we need something else. Because we don't necessarily have problem only with the API servers workings, but the workloads as well. Sometimes the workloads drive it like that. So that can also be an issue. So we'll study the discussion on 9th December and then we can have a follow-up discussion.
Yeah, I guess so. So in your case, I think it's more like some workloads that you don't have control over, right? And those workloads are making calls that basically don't have resource version and they just go straight to etcd, right?
Yeah, causing ooms on etcd side.
Okay. Yeah, so I think I have pretty good understanding what's your issue. And I think I will just follow up. So I will just add action item for me and.
Sounds good. Let me just, I think Chao's probably having some audio issue or something. But hey, Chao, are you able to hear us or? Okay. We'll follow up with another discussion on this.
Yeah, we can also start the discussion on the Slack channel, and then I will just ask few people who are more who have more knowledge in terms of like etcd.
Sounds
as
good.
well.
Thank you.
Do we have any other topic for today's meeting?
Yep. Probably one thing I want to add is for still same topic, but I have seen some streaming proposals, previously. So it's but it's for informers, and maybe another option is just to enable it for all the requests, not just for informers. I remember in that proposal, there are some options you need to specify, like the most recent revisions and using some watch instead of list. So maybe it's possible. I'm just wondering if it's possible to enable it for not only just for informers, but also for as a default option for all the list requests.
As a default option for list requests?
Yeah.
I'm just thinking if because one problem I can see, it's that probably we cannot change API easily. It kind of needs to be backward compatible, right? So this could cause probably some problems.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't need any client-side change, right, for that proposal?
You mean like changing the list to default to this kind of new streaming API?
Yeah, I mean, it's the change is on the API server side, right? It doesn't need any client-side change.
Yeah, but my current understanding is that it will be kind of new API, and the current API for listing has already quite a lot of different edge cases, so it might be a bit tricky. Yeah, but I will also follow up with that one. But I think the best way to actually talk about it would be to maybe ask in the CAP that was developed, because that's a good question if we can change it. And have you checked if anyone asked this kind of question?
I haven't, but I guess I can also follow up on that. I do more research.
Yeah, yeah. I think. Did you see the CAP, or maybe I can link it?
I'm not sure if it's the same one. Is using the streaming for list informers list.
It's this one actually. So this is the one that I was talking about before. I added the link to the document. Okay, so so I think we have two topics that we can follow up. I will coordinate with SIG Scalability members, and I will get back to both of these questions. Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
So Chao's trying to rejoin, he said. Not sure if he'll be able to, but we can follow up. If he has any input, we'll add to the list.
Yeah, we can just talk on the Slack. I'm always on Slack, so then and it's easier for me to ask other people who are more experienced in this particular area.
Okay.
So do we have any other topic, or that's it? Okay, so thank you, and yeah, let's catch up on the Slack.
Sounds good. Thank you so much.
Thank you.